Hi everybody, the intuitive introvert and the hyper-functioning griefer must learn to be grounded within themselves, which means to not look around too much and scan the environment too much for the moods and the problems of everybody. Because there is a lot of people who are just waiting to discharge emotionality and their own personal problems and threats and anxiety and shame and guilt and whatnot onto empathetic people. We call this behavior parasitized empathy. It means people prey on the empathy that is actually targeted and reserved for people, for other people, right? That's like narcissists and psychopaths undermining and hijacking narrations and language and motives of victimhood movements. It means they engage in competitive victimhood, which means they steal. They steal and take away resources that are provided by communities, by social communities, by states, by systems for real victims. But now the clever monkey mind, the parasitic predator, comes and senses that there is something to extract, and then they undermine the victimhood movement and use the narration for themselves. They use the political acceptance, there is a cultural acceptance about this narrative at this moment and time, and they use it to gain personal leverage. They occupy the spaces of real victims. They use the narration of real victims while they are perpetrators. All right? I don't know whether you understand parasitized empathy. So we, as hyper-functioning griefers, people, we are an archetype, a type of people, a kind of people, a peculiar people, like David Goggins, like many people actually, like Aragorn is just two of these silent leaders archetypes, all right, who are not sought after in today's society. In today's society, we want people who make a lot of noise and signaling and cry the loudest, and people who undermine narrations, language, who hijack motives and narrations that are culturally and politically accepted and supported. In other words, in today's world, fake images that are based in a delusional, grandiose fantasy are more promoted and more represented than people whose social rank and reputation and recognition is based on real performance, real contribution. You see, so if you identify with this archetype of the hyper-functioning griefer, a person who represses grief, who is serving others, who feels the pain of others, who helps out others, who sacrifices themselves for others and so on. I'm not here to create a romantic, heroic archetype, a wounded healer savior. No, I'm not a pathological narcissist. I'm speaking about the real silent heroes of society, all right? if you identify with that, you need to stay with yourself. Be self-centered in some healthy way. Alright? Meaning, you might be hypervigilant. You might have been betrayed many times for your qualities, for your unconditional way to provide people with performance and carry the logs and the boats for everybody and his mom. Therefore, you're hypervigilant and you're mistrusting. You see through bullshit now because you went through several awakenings. You might even have by now identified your childhood wound, and you see a circle that you're stuck in yourself. Meaning, you understand you can't walk around scanning only the environment. This means you externalize yourself. It means you externalize your attention. And where attention goes, energy flows. So you keep your attention to yourself a little bit. Don't look at everybody. A peripheral sighter is enough. Ignore people and people's problems more. You have to serve yourself in the first place. You have to save yourself first. You need to demand respect for your performance and your qualities. It's not granted what you do. Yeah, so this means we have to do an exercise, an awareness, conscious exercise of walking around and not look at people too much. Also, don't stare at anybody. If you see a person, no matter, is it your, if you find a person attractive, if this person qualifies for anything that you idealize, that you like, that you're after, or it's a person you don't like, dislike, doesn't matter. Maximum is one small, you register them, but you're not reacting to it. You're not reacting. You register it. Maybe you don't even see it. But you're not sending your reactions, your thought power, your brain power, your processing power, your empathy, your reactions, whether it's a positive reaction or a negative reaction, you keep it for yourself. This means you walk around, and because you're not reactive to others, others will become more reactive to you. It makes you more attractive if you not give so much attention to everybody. It means you're available. If you give attention to everybody, it means you're available for everybody to make up for their mood dysregulation. You're not there to regulate other people, right? Stay with yourself, walk around centered,